Nepal's biggest street protests in recent times, triggered by a government ban on social media, made South Asia's biggest headlines this week. The anger goes far deeper, rooted in widespread corruption and nepotism. 48 hours of mayhem pulled down the government of KP Sharma Oli. The result, resounding political uncertainty of the kind Nepal has not seen before.
Over 2 days, Kathmandu and cities across Nepal exploded in violence. Young protesters flooded the streets. Government buildings were set ablaze, the Parliament building, the residence of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, the homes of ministers and leaders across the political spectrum. They were attacked, pelted with stones, burnt down.
This protest started off after the government decided to ban the social media platforms. This is happening right in front of the Federal Parliament of Nepal in Kathmandu. Protesters in thousands have gathered on the streets of Kathmandu to protest against the government, rising corruption, inequality. This does not seem to stop anytime soon. More protesters are gathering around the building, and we will. What he's trying to say is that the politicians have done nothing for the governance and for the country and have looted the nation. That's what these protesters have been raising slogans against.
Nearly 24 protesting youth were killed in clashes with police. Over 400 were injured. With the police losing control, the military was called in. A sense of fierce brutality in the law and order machinery became the biggest takeaway. The UN too stepped in, demanding a probe.
There are people dying in the streets. I've seen 10 different people, more than 15 actually, more than 15 people dying, being shot. There is not enough ambulances. The hospitals are running out of resources. The government does not care about us. They do not care if people die. They're killing little children, people in school uniforms with school ID cards.
At the end of day one, the social media ban was lifted. But the anger and public protest was far from over. The killings added fuel to the fire. It became clear the social media ban was just a spark. The real fire was decades of corruption and betrayal.
Every corruption in the country, from the local level to federal level, all the Nepalese citizens are fed up of corruption. Every youth are going outside the country, so we want to protect our youth and make the country's economy better. For that, we need a new youth, new power, and new politicians who are well educated to move the country forward.
The government blamed what it called anarchists. Sudan Gurung, a 36-year-old activist, led the youth movement, using social media to organize peaceful marches that spiraled into violent clashes. By the end of day 2, PM KP Sharma Oli's government that talked of emergency cabinet meetings and repair saw the writing on the wall. Oli quit, the government fell. Many of the protesters distanced themselves from the destruction, saying their peaceful protests were hijacked by opportunists. Don't miss excesses by the protesters themselves. At least 7 prisons were attacked. Over 1,500 prisoners, including big political ones, were set free. Many have now been rounded up. Most are on the run.
Despite the Prime Minister's resignation, the situation has not calmed down. It has been escalating. I'm standing at the moment in Nakhu jail, that is in Kathmandu, where the former Home Minister, former Deputy Prime Minister Ravi Lamechhane was being held for his alleged involvement in cooperative scam. Here, this is a jail premises in which half of the area has been completely burned down, and the most important thing is that here almost 1,200 prisoners were being held, and all of them have escaped after Ravi Lamechhane left the prison. How did he leave? Was with the help of the protesters. Protesters, they barged into these premises, and Ravi Lamechhane was taken out from his cell and out paraded. following which most of the prisoners, they escaped behind him. And many of the reports suggest that the police officials here, the security guards, they completely raised their hands and they stepped back while the prisoners were escaping and did not try to stop them.
The protesters are clear on their demands. Dissolve parliament, all elected lawmakers must resign, and all officials behind the crackdown must face justice. They demand new elections under reformed rules. The road ahead is difficult. The political landscape is fractured, with millions of youth unemployed and economic disparity soaring, tensions run deep. This isn't just Nepal's crisis, it echoes across South Asia. The youth movements that toppled governments in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka took similar routes, fueled by systemic corruption and inequality. How Nepal rebuilds trust and governs going forward remains to be seen, but the message and the lesson are clear. There can be no ignoring the voice of the people.
India has issued a high alert along its border with Nepal amidst continuous tensions within the country. New Delhi voiced deep concern, emphasizing the potential impact on Indian interests and regional stability. India's Ministry of External Affairs has said that India is closely monitoring developments in Nepal. Expressing concern over the killing of people, India has issued a call for restraint as it stressed on stability in the region. In its advisory, the MEA has asked Indian nationals in Nepal to exercise caution and adhere to local guidelines. India has tightened security and issued a high alert along its 1,751-kilometer border with Nepal. The Sashastra Seema Bal, India's border security force, has intensified vigil in Bengal's Pani Tanki area. Officials confirm adequate deployment is in place and stricter checks are being implemented at various outposts. A large number of Indian citizens live and work in Nepal, with many running business in the country. Nepal is also a favorite for tourists from India. Over 200 Indian tourists are reported to be stuck in the country, eager to get out amid the unrest in the country.
I'm at the international airport in Nepal. I'm standing in front of the gate that I was supposed to board my plane, Indigo plane, to Delhi from at 2 this afternoon. Around 1 o'clock, they said that the airport is shut. We saw fumes of smoke rising everywhere. I believe it was tear gas that they were using to disperse the kids outside who were protesting.
The India-Nepal border is open, allowing unrestricted movement for citizens of both countries. This fosters close ties but also poses significant security challenges. The porous nature of this long border makes it susceptible to misuse, and any political instability in Nepal can escalate cross-border issues, directly impacting Indian interests. As a direct consequence of tensions in Kathmandu, trade has been partially halted, leaving trucks stranded at the border. Several flights to and from India, including Air India services on Delhi-Kathmandu-Delhi route, have also been cancelled. India has issued such border alerts previously as well, including during the 2015 Madhesi protest, which also affected trade and cross-border movement.